it going, everybody? Checking in with you another Sunday night live stream. Sorry, I couldn't see the counter going up there. Pulling up my comments here. Those of you that this is your first time, you re-watchers, takes just a couple minutes to get everything set up, get some people on here. We'll see who all jumps on tonight. Just have a conversation, watching the Texans and Patriots here, and yeah, that's probably about it. Let me pull up the comments section, and we'll get right into it. How was your guys' Thanksgiving? Are you ready for Christmas? It's like, it's crazy kind of having Thanksgiving so late into November. We just got done with Thanksgiving, and Christmas is literally like 3 weeks away. So we started a new series at church today. We got a lot of different stuff going on in the city. I haven't had a lot of time to film, but do have some things coming up this week, so I'll definitely have some videos coming out. It's just trying to edit them lately has been a real bear, kind of because of time, but also kind of because of motivation. I don't know what it is, but if I'm working outside a lot, been doing a lot more things around the house, then it becomes, I guess I'm just maybe more exhausted when it comes to the end of the night. Not that I'm more exhausted, it's like I'm mentally drained. I just want to just kind of turn off my brain, but it's probably an issue. I just need to kind of get over it and start editing again. Let's see here. Caden was first tonight. Kelly Myers. Wow, Kelly Myers. It's been a long time. How are you doing, kid? Caden's back again. Kelly says, long time no speak. Oh, jeez. So mom asked me what to get the dog for Christmas, and he's really old, so I said a headstone. Terrible. My dog's getting older too. We were just talking about that this week. It's like, you get these dogs when they're puppies, and 10 years goes by really, really fast. But my dog's not in bad health or anything. I think he'll be fine for many Christmases to come. Kenna's watching the game as well. Tim's in the house. Gene says, hello, Pastor Andrew. Sorry I missed church. No problem, man. We had a lot of people out today, actually. Some people were away for the holiday. I know a couple people were at the Steeler game. We had a couple people sick and a couple people, I think, scared away because of the weather forecast said a lot of snow. But I don't know. When I looked at it, I saw a low of 37 degrees. That does not equal snow. But so I kind of anticipated it would just be a rainy night. But, it's like the weatherman's job to scare everyone for some reason. Meatloaf says, Ladisaw, you remind me of a teddy bear. Not joking. You honestly remind me of a teddy bear. I don't know what the resemblance is between me and a teddy bear, but okay. I'll accept it. Totally good with that. Bear with me. We'll have a conversation here in a second. So, several things going on this week. Number one, first and foremost, tomorrow we have the Borough Council meeting for the community garden. So I sent them my plan in a digital format so they can check it out, read it ahead of time. Hopefully we're going to get it turned around and reapproved for 2020. Really want to make that happen, not only for myself, but for the homeschool kids that have worked so hard on it, for all the people in summer serve, and for the dozens and dozens, and what I hope will be hundreds and hundreds of people that can go down there and pull some food out of the community garden as well. So really hoping that can happen this week. I'll know tomorrow night. I may even do another live stream tomorrow night, depending on how urgent I feel that is. But either way, I'll try to film a video tomorrow and hopefully get it out on Tuesday to get everybody updated on that. I'm sure the newspaper will be there as well, so you probably see it in the newspaper on Tuesday, regardless. So yeah, hopefully that'll be coming. Really would like to put that behind me and stop thinking about it, other than just planning for 2020 and actually moving, getting some forward progress. But other than that, that's coming up. If any of you want to come to that meeting, I know some of you expressed some interest in coming in and showing some support. If you want to, that would be tomorrow at 7 o'clock. If you want to come, you're more than welcome to. I don't think it's going to be very exciting. Hopefully, it'll just be a short thing, and I'll be there for 15 minutes, explain my piece. They will, take it into consideration and hopefully vote to give us at least another year there. But I have trouble thinking that it's going to go any other way. I'm just really not sure, but I don't know. I can't see how they would be against it. I also had an editor from I think it was the Pittsburgh Tribune, which is the biggest newspaper in Pittsburgh, and they sent me an email saying, "Please keep me updated on the community garden. I have never once heard of a city shutting down a community garden. Never in his gardening career, and he's done tons of gardening projects, written garden stories for the region for many years. Seemed to be a pretty cool guy. I'm hoping to get him to the community garden, actually, if we can keep it open. But he was very interested, saying he's never heard of a situation like that where they want to shut down a community garden. Doesn't make any sense to him at all. But anyway, Gene says, Steelers win today. Yeah, my girls and I, we've never actually sat down and seen a whole football game. And we actually watched the entire Steelers football game. Well, apart from maybe a couple minutes in the first quarter, but we were doing crafts, and then we were just hanging out watching the game, and it was pretty fun. But the Steelers looked okay. The Browns looked not very good. The Steelers' defense looks pretty nasty, but their offense isn't going to allow them to make it very far. They can't hang with the Ravens. I don't think there's any way. But you never know. I guess they could pressure Jackson. Maybe they could, but that team looks really good after beating the 49ers today, who just manhandled the Packers last week. It looks like the Steelers might make the playoffs, but I can't see how they would get much further than that. We'll see, though. I don't even know. Do you guys know who the Steelers have for their last 4 games? That'd be interesting to maybe we could debate how many games they're going to win out of those last 4 and whether they'll make it into the playoffs or not. That'd be an interesting topic of discussion. Sorry, I got like a raspberry seed between my teeth. Let's see, who else here? Krista. Your comments, too much. The other thing I want to talk about was Vandergrift. Made a video featuring Iani's Pizza, and I've told you guys about this kind of Facebook experiment that I've been doing. Well, Iani's Pizza actually picked it up and started sharing it, and that video got like over 50 shares across Facebook, and the video went from it was doing really bad, around 100 views, and it went to like 500 views. So it just really changed quickly, and all of a sudden that Facebook page went from 30 likes or something like that up to 70 likes in a day. And so I'm trying to get that to 200 in Vandergrift. So if you know anyone in Vandergrift that'd be interested in connecting to it, love to have your support on that page. I love to just get introduced to more people down there. The more I go there, the more I kind of have a heart for that city, and I want to see if we could possibly start a summer serve group there, a church group there, and a summer serve group there. See if we can kind of share notes with another group of people that want to do good things in the community. It does seem like there's a lot of good stuff happening down there. We have basically all the same issues. I feel like they're Kittanning maybe like 3, 4 years ago. They're just a little bit behind as far as the progress that they're making. But they have some disadvantages too, some pretty distinct disadvantages. One major advantage is they still have a large manufacturing plant right there on the river that's operational. I don't know how many people it employs, but I think it's a pretty good amount. That's one big advantage. Some disadvantages they have: don't have dedicated school. I think it's just Kiski Valley, so they share schools with other nearby towns, which I guess we do as well, but it doesn't feel as far away for me as it does in Vandergrift. Maybe I'm wrong on that. It also, I don't think they have a local hospital like that's super close there, and they're not the county seat like Kittanning is, and that's actually a huge advantage. Vandergrift is probably like one of the forgotten cities in Westmoreland County. Everything kind of centers around Greensburg, New Kensington, Vandergrift, and some of the other outskirts cities. I think don't get nearly as much investment as the others. So, but that's just an observation. But if you know anyone down there, I would just love to have them connect to that page. It's called Changing Vandergrift, and so if you, like I said, you know anyone there, point them to that, and I would love to connect with them and get their ideas on how to move forward in the future there. Okay, last 4 games: Arizona, Buffalo, New York, Baltimore. So I don't know what you guys think of that schedule. To me, it looks like 2-2. They'll finish 9-7, and my bet is that they will not make the playoffs. That's what I'm thinking about it. I don't know who else is in the hunt. Let me go look at it here. But what do you guys think? What will the Steelers do over the last 4 games? Will they make the playoffs or not make the playoffs? Sorry, I'm just pulling up the standings here. I wanna get a better look at it here. Whenever I'm live streaming, my internet's really slow. It can only handle one thing at a time, evidently. Buffalo's a tough team, though, and Baltimore might be the best team in the NFL right now. Like it certainly looks. The Patriots always kind of find a way to win, but they don't look really strong at this point, to me at least. What is happening right now? All right, here we go. So Buffalo pretty much has a wild card spot locked in. Baltimore has the division. So it's going to be between them, Tennessee, and Oakland. Oakland didn't look very good today at all. So really it's between them, Tennessee. Well, I guess Indianapolis could sneak in there, but they've been kind of falling off lately as well. Maybe they will make the playoffs. Even at 9-7, they might make it. Because you have to say Indianapolis would have to win out. They have New Orleans on the schedule. That's gonna be real tough for them. Oh wait, no, Indianapolis beat Pittsburgh, so I think they would be in if they could win 3 out of their next 4. Possible. Tampa Bay and Jacksonville are both terrible, although they're away games. Versus Carolina, tough to say if they could do it. Tennessee. Let me look at their schedule here. So slow. Tennessee has Oakland, Houston, New Orleans, Houston. Yeah, their schedule is brutal. West Coast trip to Oakland, and then Houston twice and New Orleans. That doesn't look great for them. Um, so maybe the Steelers do make it. I think they could make it. I'm changing my prediction. But what do you guys think? I'm curious now. Meatloaf says, uh, I know you're not about to ignore another question. I bother you all day long. I think I deserve more than you judging my comments. They're so ridiculous. I don't know what to do with it. Let's see here. Where are you pulling this stuff from? But anyways, what do you guys have planned for Christmas? Is there anything you have going on that you are interested in, or anything going on in Kittanning or the surrounding area that you think should make a video out of? I've always been maybe curious to go to. I've never been to Renshaw at Christmas time, but I've heard that it's nice. Thinking about if we could potentially find some time to go there. Um, but I don't know. We don't have much else going on. I mean, it's a busy time of year, but it's all like traditional, normal stuff that I've made videos on in the past, and so I'm not sure how to approach that. Like, should I make videos on the same things again, or should I try to do some different stuff? I may just do a lot of videos on planning for 2020 as well. We have our Kittanning 300 group that started not last week, but the week before, and that was really exciting to see what's really a great group of people coming together and kind of planning for the future of the borough, and not just planning, but we're doing actionable items all the time, and so trying to put together action steps to make sure that we're constantly moving the ball forward on each of the 5 areas that we're working on. Sorry, just watching a replay. Oh, Houston scored again. Yeah, New England's going to be in trouble. I think they're going to really struggle down the stretch. Um, I just don't think Brady's the same player anymore. Although I've said that in the past, and he always proves me wrong. But I just don't think he's the same player. And their rest of their roster is pretty depleted. Which is the Steelers' other problem, right? I mean, they have way too many people out. Gene says, Steelers the whole way. You really think so? Like, really in your heart of hearts, you believe? I'm not sure, man. Milo says, there's this one thing I do in Vandergrift every Christmas, and I really recommend it. It's called sleeping in. That does not look like it's part of my future, nor do I really want it to be. I used to like to sleep in a lot, but now it doesn't really do anything for me. Every time I sleep in, I actually wake up frustrated because then I feel like I've missed out on a part of the day, and that's like sleeping into like 8 o'clock. It just doesn't. I don't like to even do that much. So that's where I'm at. I guess we're going through the topics pretty quick. I guess there's not too many people here connected tonight. I think it's just been a busy weekend for a lot of people, and people are kind of disconnecting and resting and all that kind of stuff. I expected a quick laugh, not a whole explanation. This is why I consider you odd. Well, I don't know what to say. I'm a talker. But the last thing I'm talking about is at church we started a new series. It's called Come Home, and today it's a sermon series based on the story of the prodigal son. And so if you look in the Bible, Luke chapter 15, you can read the story of the lost sheep, the lost coin, and then the prodigal son. And so just want to encourage you guys to kind of connect to that over the course of the next several weeks. If you're in the Kittanning area and you're looking for a place to go at Christmas time, I just definitely want to invite you to come and join us at Living Water. I think it's going to be a powerful series and a powerful time for us to just kind of connect with each other and connect with our community, hopefully, and not get caught up in all of the kind of Christmas hype, but to just really connect with what God wants us to do and the true meaning behind Christmas. And so, just encourage you with all of that, not to get like it could be a really stressful time of year if we carry all these burdens around for the um, I don't know, I guess all the pressure that the world would place on us to give certain gifts and to do certain things and to um, have your house in a certain way and eat certain foods and all these different things that can kind of just become this burden when really this should be a time of reflecting, a time of kind of resting, a time of celebrating, and not a time just filled with stress and financial ruin for many households because people overextend themselves. So just really encourage you to kind of step back, focus on what God really wants us to focus on during this time of year, and don't get caught up in all of the busyness and craziness that the world will try to have you step into. Let's see here. Gene says, for Christmas, I'm going to my mom and dad's grave and talking to them. Do you do that? Is that like, do you do that every year at Christmas? I mean, that's a normally people go and visit in the summer times, or is there a certain reason that you go there that time of year? I'm just kind of genuinely curious. Um, but yeah, I guess at Christmas time we don't. I mean, we just kind of spend time with the kids, and it kind of always is changing and adjusting now because we're kind of slowly entering out of the baby phase. So Christmas for a while was like really low key because babies don't really need anything. And then as the girls have gotten older, and now Malachi is like this running terror. He's yeah, he's excited for Christmas and presents and opening things because his birthday was just a month and a half ago. So he's all jacked up for Christmas time now because he finally understands what presents are all about. So we're pretty excited about that. It's just a really fun time. Abby is, she's full on. She's been hyped up for several years now, but she'll be 6 going on 7, and yeah, we just have kids that range from 2 years old to 7 years old, and they all understand now, and so it's just a different animal than it was in years past. So pretty exciting there. But then the other thing that for the Christmas time is we were always, Christmas time was a lot about, for me at least, was about baking cookies and eating certain foods, and like the kind of the richness of Christmas was a lot based around food. This year, a lot of that changes because we're not going to make nearly as many cookies, that kind of stuff, because of Joanna. And so we're just kind of or at least I am, kind of taking a step back and trying to assess, what's important, what's not important, and ultimately that stuff isn't even really important. It's just one of those things where we kind of get locked into traditions, and then it doesn't feel like Christmas if we don't have a certain kind of cookies or a certain amount of things. And I think all of that's just a lie that the world has tried to tell us or sell us. And, that's what I'm just trying to encourage you as we finish up here tonight. Just don't get sucked into all that stuff. It just doesn't. It's not that important. Um, Meatloaf says, I talk like a lot. These people are so quiet. It is definitely a quieter night tonight, but I guess that's okay. My assumption is it's the holiday and all that stuff. People are away, and it's just a different time of year. John says, thank you for helping your town. You're welcome, John. I mean, it's just a very, very small part of it, and I have the pleasure of being able to document it. But we have a lot of great people in town that are willing to step out and help, and it's a blessing to be a part of it. Honestly, I just really, really believe in the future of our city, that it's going to be bright, that it's going to be wonderful. Let's see what else we got. Gene says, I just go every year because I know they are with me. Pretty cool, man. Melissa says, trying to get a Christmas list out of my kids is a nightmare. Yeah, our kids right now, kind of, I mean, obviously very different phases, but yeah, it's been fun. We just our 3-year-old. She said she wanted one gift, and so I actually went to Walmart and got it for her for Christmas. And then literally like 2 days later, she's like, "No, I don't want that. I want this other thing." And I was like, "No, you're not allowed to change your mind. You get one Christmas option, and that's it." Arian Metzler, good to have you, man. I miss talking to you too. Um, Need to drop by again. Yeah, this Thursday is first Thursday. If you want to come out, I see that you're back working again. Very excited about that. Prayed for you many times over the summer, and I wanted to connect with you. Just never. I guess I just need to do a better job. But um, I wanted to see if we could do something. I know you had that music festival that you go to I can't remember if it was springtime or summertime. And last year, wanted to support you more with that, and we just couldn't make it work out for the week that it was. I can't remember what was double booked that weekend. But I would love to connect with you again on that if you're still planning on doing it in the future. But I love what you do, driving across the country and spreading the gospel. I think it's amazing. Keep it up. That is so mean. How is that so mean? That's not mean. There goes Krista's shark vacuum. Is that really what Krista wants? Is a vacuum? Last year, my wife and I we normally like buy each other a gift, and it's normally something just practical. Like we buy something together, and she wanted a vacuum, and we got a one of those Dyson like the battery ones. Man, that thing is amazing. It's like one of the best things we ever bought. It's just really totally worth the extra few dollars to spend on a vacuum cleaner to get one of those things, because then you just don't realize like how freeing it is to have a vacuum without a cord. It's just like one that's actually powerful, that's actually worth using. Like you go to clean out the car or something, you need to just vacuum for 20 seconds. Just so great. Ray Jr. says, when we get older, our Christmas gifts become more practical. I'll be getting a humidifier for my eczema. That is very practical. And yes, you should totally get a humidifier. Tim says, quiet time here in Colorado had 90-mile-an-hour winds 2 days ago. Pretty scary. That is crazy. Man, 90 miles an hour. Was that like with snow included or just like windstorm? Although I guess I did hear about that. Arizona had tornadoes, and they just never get tornadoes there. It's pretty wild. Let's see here. Wow, Ray's getting theological on us. I like it. It says, "Do you believe in once saved, always saved, or a works-based belief?" I guess kind of neither. Basically, let me just explain the topic there. Once saved, always saved is this belief that once you accept Jesus Christ as your Savior, that you're always saved forever. No need to ever do anything again. You're good. You're locked in. Works-based belief would be that God will reward you with salvation based off of how many good works that you do. I certainly don't believe either of those things in their entirety. I do believe in the security of the believer, but I also believe that we can walk away, that we can throw it away, or the other way to look at it from a once saved, always saved perspective would be that people can prove by their works that they were never saved, or they can prove by their works, or God proves through the change in their life that they have received salvation. And so that's where I kind of fall on that. I don't take a hard stance on works based or once saved, always saved. What I believe is that there's no such thing as a fruitless salvation. That if you are saved, then there's going to be life change. And that's the number one thing that I look at when I am trying to discern whether or not someone has actually received Christ. So I definitely believe that our salvation is proved by our good works, but I don't believe that we're saved by our good works in any way. I just believe that when we're saved, we're changed. And so people that would say, well, I prayed that sinner's prayer when I was 6 years old, and so it doesn't matter now that I've been a fornicator my entire life and that I don't actually follow anything that God says to do and I'm still good. I don't believe that for 1 second. So um, hopefully that answers it. She asked for a shark vacuum, Cheez-Its, and Dr. Pepper, and seasons 13 and 14 of Criminal Minds. Wow. Meatloaf says, does Malachi also have the hair swoosh? He does not yet. He is actually kind of bald in the front. I don't know why. I don't know if he sleeps on his face or something. But he does not have the swoosh yet. But I'm planning on swooshing him as soon as he's able to do so. Ray says, yes, bro, once saved, he is constantly with us. He is like our governor, like in the car. Yes, sir. I believe that, and I do believe that if God is with you, if he's in the car, so to speak, then you are going to be following what He says to do. That you're not going to be able to wander too far from the truth, or else Holy Spirit is gonna drag you back. At least that's been the experience in my life, and as I've witnessed hundreds of people throughout the years in their walks with Christ or their not so much walks with Christ, then I definitely feel like I have enough experience to kind of say how these things have operated in the real world. Kevin's in the house. Kevin, you are like 20th tonight, so you're way, way behind, my man. Good to have you, though. Ray says, amen, bro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's kind of my theology was way more Baptist when I first got saved, and then I entered into a Pentecostal denomination, and what was great is I had to kind of wrestle with those things, kind of switching from this Calvinist belief to this Arminian belief, and the more that I look at it and study doctrine from both sides, I just don't. I don't feel like anyone has kind of this corner on the truth, except for the Bible. I think they both make great points, but a lot of them it's not either or. A lot of them it's both. When I look more and more at doctrinal statements and study these things more in depth as time goes on. But my best advice is read the Bible, do what it says, and everything will work out. If you've accepted Jesus, of course. Tim says, Christmas time growing up in Kittanning, we went to all the stores downtown and always went ice skating on the big pool back at Belmont. Used to just be called Montebelle's. Good times. That is pretty awesome. Outdoor skating rink, we had one when I was growing up as well in Minnesota, of course. And yeah, I wasn't never much of a skater, so I never got into that. But I love hearing memories of like the old time Christmas, and then I always wonder like my kids, they're gonna have like documented Christmas times because of the YouTube channel, and so I just kind of wonder like what stories will they tell in 50 years about what Christmas time was like for them. I hope that it's positive. Hopefully we're giving them some good memories, and hopefully they'll appreciate the documentation of their lives as well. and not consider it too intrusive. All right, guys. I think I am going to head out. We've been a half hour already. Got a few other things that I'd like to accomplish tonight. And yeah, I would appreciate every single one of you. Be watching out for a pit video of Pittsburgh this week, and then an update on the community garden that will be happening tomorrow night. If you, like I said earlier, if you want to come to the borough meeting, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock is the borough meeting for the community garden. We'll be presenting our plan and hopefully overturning the previous decision on that. So be praying for us, praying for me specifically. Would really, really appreciate that. And we'll continue to work for better outcomes on that project and a better future for the greatest city in the world. I love all of you guys. Hope you have a wonderful night. Happy Thanksgiving and Christmas coming real quick.